Yo, what is up, YouTube? I'm back for, I guess, part 2 of Aero gravel hacks with Trey. Today, you can see I have a bunch of stuff hanging off my bike because I'm going to be talking about stuff that you can wear rather than things you can buy to put on your bike. And I think we're going to start with the most important. I think maybe the first thing y'all should think about when trying to get Aero. One, because it's like something that you have to have on your bike or have to have when you're riding your bike, and also something that makes pretty big gains. They're not just marginal. And I'm talking about helmets, of course. This right here is kind of an extreme example. This is called the Cask Nirvana of an Aero helmet. This is what I wear for gravel. But since you have to wear a helmet, you might as well get one that's like relatively Aero. And say you already have a helmet that's pretty good, there's always a good reason to upgrade. One, because they're safe and keep your head safe, and two, because you can gain a lot from getting something that's slightly more Aero than the one you have. I've heard that Aero helmets versus like vented helmets could be like up to a 20-watt savings, so that's like huge. Yeah, my favorite brand out there is Cask. They have the Nirvana like this one. They have the Protone that's more breathable, but still slightly vented. They have, dude, I don't even know all the names. They have like 3 different Aero helmets. There's one that's almost this exact same shape, but it doesn't have the ear flaps, so it comes up higher. I figured if I'm gonna go with an Aero helmet, I wanna go all in and go max Aero, so that's why I got the Nirvana. Yeah, really like this helmet. I wore it, I've worn it for every race this year and haven't found it to be too hot. I even wore it for like Dust Bowl when it was literally almost 100 degrees and it was fine. So, get an Aero helmet. If you don't already have one and you're trying to go faster on the bike, it's a no-brainer. All right, next is the cheapest thing you can do to save watts, and that is socks. You can get, these are like a fancier brand called Sock Leon, I think is how you pronounce it. They're a little more expensive than some other ones, but they're still only like 30 bucks or something. A pretty cheap and easy thing to do to get more Aero on your bike. I know there's examples that are like from AliExpress that are legit like $5 and basically the same thing. You won't always see me wearing Aero socks, and that's because every single Aero sock I've tried, the sock part, like this part, not the top part that's Aero, is always too thin. And when I do races that are like going to be 5+ hours, my feet start to hurt with thinner socks. So even though it's an easy Aero gain, I don't always go for these because I choose a little comfort over the watt savings. I think it's worth it because if your feet start to hurt at, I don't know, mile 120 into Unbound and you can't pedal the rest of the way, that'll be way slower than being slightly more Aero. All right, next up on the list is an Aero jersey. This is from ASOS. I don't know how you say it. I also don't know the name of this one. I probably should have looked all this stuff up before making this video. But this is a obviously race fit, tight fitting jersey, but has the Aero. This looks exactly like the Aero socks I was just talking about, where it has the little trip strips in the fabric. You're definitely going to gain watts versus a regular fabric jersey. I don't have very many Aero jerseys. I don't know why. This is the only one that I have. And then again, if you go with a skin suit, that will be even more Aero than a jersey and bibs, although they make like Aero bibs. I don't have any of those either. I just go for what's comfortable and what I like there too. But so I just got this jersey like a week or 2 ago and I'm really liking it, and I'll probably be racing in it because it is more Aero than what I've been wearing, and I'm always looking for those little gains. And then last on the list of things you can wear is a hydration pack. I don't know if this works for every body and every shape, and like depending on how leaned over you are on the bike and things like that, but when this is filled up, it's completely empty right now, it creates like a little turtle back shape that sits right behind your helmet. Say you're wearing your helmet and then this is filled up, it like is, let me set this on here, it elongates the air coming over the helmet and just keeps the air attached longer, which therefore will make you more aero. But I would assume if you're sitting like upright like this, you're not going to be getting the benefits of wearing a pack. And then obviously packs are good for more than just aero gains because they hold water. And say you need to go 3 hours without stopping, 2 bottles isn't going to be enough, so that's where the pack comes in. I race with packs a ton depending on the course and where the aid stations are, things of that nature. It's kind of like just how the race plays out. I am thinking about like whether or not I should use this just based on the aero gains also. And then once it's empty with water and you want to keep it aero, just blow in the hose and fill the pack back up with air so it keeps its aero shape. That way it's like doesn't weigh anything and you're still aero. I guess if you wanted, you could race with this on with nothing in it and just blow it up with air to keep those aero gains. Yeah, so those are all things you can wear to help you go a little bit faster in your next gravel race. Next video, I think I'm gonna go back to the bike and talk about some aero things you can put on the bike, because that's what everybody really likes to talk about. But I think this was a good little subject that maybe you guys aren't thinking about, of way to save a little bit of time in your next gravel race. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what else you guys think I should talk about in terms of gravel hacks. Yeah, bye.